everyone, this is Dr. Sarla. Welcome to Millet Magic. Do you sometimes end up with extra dosa batter after having had dosas for a day or two and wonder what else can be made with it? Then here's a recipe with which you can make a tasty evening snack or even a light breakfast using leftover dosa batter. The dish is called Paddu in Karnataka, Guntaponganallu in Andhra, or Paniyaram in Tamil Nadu. It can be served with chutney, but I and my husband like Paddu with a sweet and tangy accompaniment called tomato goju. So I'll be sharing the recipe for this as well. So here's how to make millet paddu and tomato goju. To start with, you will require millet dosa batter and it is okay if it has turned sour. To know how to make millet dosa batter, do check out our millet dosa recipes if you haven't already watched them. The link to these is in the description box below. You can use either millet set dosa or millet masala dosa batter to make the paddu. An important point to remember is that the batter should not be too watery and thin. If it is too watery, the center of the paddu will be undercooked. The batter should neither be too thick as this will result in hard paddus. When the batter is of the correct consistency, the water from the batter evaporates while making the paddu. The spaces left behind by the evaporated water result in a soft and fluffy center for the paddu, while the exterior turns golden and crispy. It may take 2 to 3 attempts to perfect, but it's surely worth the effort. Now into this batter, add in a finely chopped medium-sized onion, a grated carrot, and a few finely chopped green chilies. Mix it all well together and top it with some fresh coriander and your paddu batter is ready. And now to make the tomato goju, you will require around 10 to 12 tomatoes finely chopped up, 2 tablespoons of palm jaggery syrup, around 10 to 12 curry leaves, 4 green chilies and some fresh coriander for garnish. You will also need around 2 teaspoons of sambar powder, 1 teaspoon of urad dal, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon of chana dal, half a teaspoon of mustard seeds, half a teaspoon of jeera and some cooking oil. Here I am using safflower oil which has been extracted by bull-driven wooden ghanis. In a thick bottomed steel vessel, heat around 2 tablespoons of oil and add mustard seeds into it and allow them to splutter. Then add in half a teaspoon of jeera, 1 teaspoon of urad dal and 1 teaspoon of chana dal. Saute until they turn golden brown. Add in the curry leaves. Then add in the finely chopped tomatoes. And half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Give it a nice mix. Cover it with a lid and allow the tomatoes to cook. After about 5 minutes, you will see that the tomatoes have released a lot of their juice, have become soft and cooked. This is the time to add in the sambar powder and salt to taste. Give it a nice mix and again allow to simmer for around 2 to 3 minutes with a closed lid. Now add in the palm jaggery syrup to balance the sourness from the tomatoes. Finally, I'm adding in the fresh coriander to garnish and also a few slit green chilies. I like to add the green chilies in the end so that they retain their crunchiness, but you can add them in the beginning as well. The tomato gochu is ready. Check the taste to see if the sourness, the sweetness, the spiciness and the salt are all balanced. If not, you can surely make some adjustments right now. And now to make the paddu, you will require a special tawa specifically made for this purpose. You can see how the tawa has been hollowed out to accommodate the batter. So first heat the tawa and then add 1 teaspoon of oil into each hollowed out cup. You do require a generous amount of oil or else the paddus will stick to the tawa. If you're using good oils extracted by bull-driven wooden ghanis, you have nothing to worry. Fill 3/4 of the hollowed out spaces with the paddu batter, allowing for the paddus to raise when they cook. Cover with a lid and allow to cook for about a minute. Now with the help of a knife, loosen the edges and flip the paddu over. Start with the paddu in the center since the flame is the highest in this region and the paddu will cook faster here. Flip all the paddus one by one and now allow the under surface to cook again for a minute. Keep the flame on medium throughout so that you don't burn the surface while the insides remain undercooked. Transfer the paddus onto a plate and proceed with the next batch. Allow to rest for 2 minutes. During this time, the insides continue to cook with the trapped steam inside. Golden and crispy on the outside, soft and fluffy on the inside. Millet paddu is ready to be enjoyed. Do try it out with my personal favorite combination, tomato gochu, and let me know how you like it. We'll be back next week with yet another interesting millet recipe. Until then, happy cooking!